Hey everyone, this is Eddie, and today I'm going to talk about the most common mistake that I hear Russians say when they speak English. And I'm also going to say the most common mistake that people in the United States say when they try to speak Russian. Okay, so let's start with the Russian people. My Russian people, all right, a lot of you say this, and a lot of you even who seem very fluent in English. So do not get mad when I point this out. Okay, I'm just being helpful here. All right. So here's what happens. A lot of you guys confuse the word told and said. Again, told and said. Let's go back to when you were in grade school, and you were like 10 or maybe like 15. What do you guys do when you talk to each other? What do the girls do? What do the boys do? All right. They say, okay, like, you know, when someone starts liking, or even as an adult, all right, even if you're like fully grown, people still say this, like, and they like somebody. What do? What do you do when you like somebody? You share that information with somebody, right? So you tell your friend, hey, I like that girl, or I like that boy, whatever. So you tell your friend. So remember that, okay? So now let's talk about the word said. We'll compare the two in a bit. Let's talk about when you're like, okay, let's go back to, for example, when you're in school again, when the teacher says something. The teacher said this in class. Okay, he explained it to the entire class. The professor, whatever, he said something, and now it's going to be in your exam. All right. Okay. So now let's go back. Let's talk about individually. Let's talk about the difference. So remember this, because here's what I hear a lot. The professor told that back in history, whatever. So see how it didn't sound right, but that's what a lot of you guys are doing. Okay. So you might say that's one. So you might say, okay. So you might say the TV woman told that this was happening on this date. You see how that doesn't sound right? Okay, for one, the professor, the teacher, he told everybody, all right, and the people in the camera, they said that the event was going to be on this date. They said, so everybody was listening, all right? Now, when they just told you, then that's when you can use the word told. For example, okay, he told me that he likes her. You see that? You see how when you're back in school, or even now, when you hear it directly from the person, he told you, you were there, you listened to it because he told you or she told you. Oh, she told me that she likes me. You see that? So I'm hearing it directly. It's a direct message. So she's not telling anybody else, or not that I know of. All right. That's just an example. Okay, as the listener, he told you specifically. So hopefully that made sense. If not, I'll explain it. Leave a comment in the description. Now let's go to a common mistake that people in the United States make about the Russian language. Okay, and here's the word that people misuse. They'll say, Eddie, they'll say, fana babushka, because they know I'm in Russia. Okay, well, they don't really mean, okay, people in the United States, I'll tell you what a babushka means. It means an older lady, like a granny, kind of like, you know, she's really old, so she's like really beyond middle age. So think about like a senior citizen. That's what a babushka means. What you really want to say is debushka. All right, debushka means a young lady. And I know that sounds rude, right? Debushka. Like when I first came here. Well, actually, I went to Ukraine, and I went with my friend. We went to dine, and my friend's like, debushka, like to say, hey, it sounds rude. I was like, did you just call her debushka? And she was like, yeah. And it's very common for people to address the waitress or someone working at a market as debushka. I mean, it's not rude. It just sounds very aggressive, but there's nothing aggressive about it, not in the context. So yeah, so it's not babushka, it's debushka. So people in the United States, and another reason why you guys get it confused is because it's not very common. Okay, just the word debushka. Okay, people don't really, and with the, I'm probably mispronouncing it too, because it has like certain accents which I haven't really picked up on. So it does take training of the tongue and of the ears to just say it correctly. And that's something that people in the United States, we don't get it, like it doesn't align with the vocabulary of the language that we use. So that's why it's easier to just say babushka, okay, which is incorrect. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and any questions, comments, just leave them in the description below, okay? Until soon, peace.